Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back in with another video, and this is going to be another episode of Your Questions Answered. If you're not familiar with it, Your Questions Answered is a Q&A series that I do here on this channel, so if you want to see one of your questions answered in one of these videos, leave a comment, make sure it's Lego, Star Wars, or Lego Star Wars related, and then check back next week to see if you make the cut. So let's go ahead and dive right into the questions. First question comes from the Great Blader. He says, great video, if you had to build a MOC with a one Great Baseplate, what would it be? I actually have a few things that I'd like to do at that size. The first one that comes to mind is actually not Star Wars related, but it's like somewhat of a high-rise condo, like a luxury condo build, kind of something that would go in line with the modulars. I feel that doing, a high-rise with many levels, but kind of secluded to a Great Baseplate would be a good compromise to the fact that I can't really build a big Lego city right now, but doing a nice tall building would be something that would, not take up too much floor or ground space as opposed to vertical space, which is definitely a lot more easy to accommodate than like having to find something that could cover multiple tables. So definitely doing like high-rise luxury condo build would be really fun. As for Star Wars, I have a few things. I think that having like a baseplate sized forest battle on Starkiller base with Rey and Kylo would be really fun. I'm gonna actually just keep a good chunk of whatever I build for the Starkiller mock build series in that section just to have as a little vignette, and then other than that, I don't know, like maybe like a small Hoth like trench build would be kind of fun. Dexter's Diner would be cool as well. There's so many different Star Wars mods you could do at so many different scales and just sizes that I don't know. There's so many cool things to choose from, but definitely thank you for the question. Moving on to the next question comes from Darkside Warrior. He says, when do you think we'll be getting the first sets based on the Mandalorian or Clone Wars Season 7? I think on the count of Triple Force Friday this year, encompassing Episode 9, The Mandalorian, and Jedi Fallen Order, that we'll probably see those sets sooner rather than later. I can say that we'll almost definitely see Mandalorian and Episode 9 sets on Triple Force Friday. Still not sure about Jedi Fallen Order. I would assume we probably will see at least one set based on it, but I'm not really sure yet. As for the Clone Wars, this is the interesting case because we still don't really know when the Clone Wars is going to premiere. I felt like all signs pointed to it coming like fall of this year, but they still have not put out any concrete information. We know Episode 9 is coming this year. We know The Mandalorian is coming this year. We know Jedi Fallen Order is coming this year, but there's still a bunch of question marks around when Clone Wars Season 7 is coming. So my best guess would be we're probably not going to see Clone Wars sets this year. They most likely will probably come out sometime next year, maybe even in January. So that's not too long of a wait, but then you still run into the issue of, okay, like we're going to have a second wave of Episode 9 sets in January. So that kind of limits the amount of Clone Wars sets we can get for that time frame. So I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting to see how LEGO handles putting those sets out. I hope we get them sooner rather than later, but we're going to have to learn at some point when the heck they're actually going to debut Season 7. So hopefully find that information out sooner rather than later. Next question comes from Spiffy Dark. He says, I love your videos. Thanks, man. By the way, you made some pretty good points about Rey. Question, do you think LEGO should have more blaster molds? Not necessarily more detail, but just a little more variety. So that's a great question. I think that the current array of blaster molds, if they wanted to keep them generic, is fine. You have the pistol, you have the standard blaster, and you have like the sniper-sized blaster, right? And that can pretty much cover all our bases when it comes to troops, right? If you're looking for just, I guess, more variety, I guess they could maybe have like a rocket launcher or something like that. But honestly, I don't really see them going out of their way to give us new blaster molds. I felt like them giving us the ones we have now was really a lot for them, and I really just don't see that changing anytime soon. Down the line, I feel like, when they get to the point where, like, minifigs have really gotten to, I don't know, just the point of you can't really improve them too much more. And I feel like we're actually quite close to that. It could be the case that down the line, arm printing becomes the norm. So maybe that's something that they, that's like, I guess, a milestone that they'll hit. But I do feel like at some point, they're probably going to have to start giving us more accurate blasters just to have something new to offer to the community, right? Because at a certain point, like, we'll be getting new minifigs, I guess, but like, if the overall quality isn't improving, they'll need to have a selling point to keep people interested in the product. So I can see it happening, just really not anytime soon. Next question comes from Lucatron8. He says, hey, would you ever build a MOC not within the Star Wars universe? I've answered this question a few times, but there's actually one MOC that came up really recently that I've been thinking about. So I saw Spider-Man Far From Home recently. I'm not going to give any spoilers to it if you guys haven't seen it, but I'll talk about one particular sequence when they're in Prague at the Festival of Lights. And this is, I mean, seen in the Lego set, so it's not really anything that you shouldn't be aware of. But I'll just say it's an awesome scene. I would love to build that in Lego with just like, you know, a relatively large scale molten man with like lights kind of going all throughout his body to illuminate him, as well as having lights in the ground from when like the ground starts cracking. And then just like various scenes. I just think it can make a really nice looking like mock with lights under low light conditions. I don't know. I love Spider-Man, and that's one that's actually like after watching that film I was like I would love to build that. I've really been having the itch of just including lights in a mock after I did Vardos, and I think that would be a pretty cool successor to it and something just different. So I don't know, maybe there'll be a Spider-Man build series on the channel at some point. But yeah, that's definitely one I would love to do really soon. Next question comes from Brodys Built. He says, I know this would never happen, but what if Lego went bankrupt and shut down? What would you do at your channel? Man, that would be the day. That would be a hard video to make, having to report on news like, you know, Lego's going out of business, guys. But I really wouldn't expect too much to change on the channel outside of, you know, I'm not going to be reporting on Lego news because there would be no news to report on. I would still continue building, you know, like, there's just so many mocks, even up to this point, that I could do, like with the array of minifigs we have, with the array of pieces we have. There's really just so many more things we can do. Even if, you know, it got to the case where, you know, Lego wasn't making new figures, so there was no way for me to get those figs from them. I mean, the custom minifig market is vast, and there's, you know, plenty of people out there printing nicely detailed pad printed minifigs. So you could just reach out to them and have them maybe make figs that Lego hasn't made yet. So I really don't anticipate like my channel taking too much of a hit in terms of me being able to provide content if Lego did go out of business. Like, obviously it would suck, you know, there'd be no new set reviews to do or anything like that, but the fact that I'm a mock builder means that I have an infinite amount of possibilities with the current Lego system. So if Lego stopped making sets today, if Lego stopped making pieces today, I don't feel that limits me in what I can do with this product, because like I said, the system is just so vast. There's so many things I can do even at this moment. But that's a pretty good question and kind of a scary thing to think about. But I'm confident in Lego. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Next question comes from Santa Claus. He says, stupid question, but what's your favorite holiday? I feel that's a loaded question coming from Santa Claus, but you're in luck. Christmas is definitely my favorite holiday. It's the most wonderful time of the year, right? Like, everyone's in a generally good mood. And it's become Star Wars season, so that's been pretty exciting for like the recent Christmas seasons. Not having a Star Wars movie last Christmas season just felt so weird. I'm glad that we'll return back to that this year. But yeah, has to be Christmas, man, easily. I love that it's a time of giving. It's a time of, you know, family coming together. And, you know, some places it snows, doesn't really snow here, but as much as I don't like living in areas that snow, I can appreciate snow in small doses. So that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, definitely Christmas. Next question is going to come from Daniel W. He says, how often has a Lego clip piece broke on you, Jay? Broken clip pieces have ruined multiple sets for me. Yeah, that's really one of the things that, you know, throughout the time of Lego, those clip pieces, you know, regardless of what type of clip it is, can be quite fragile, especially in those older sets. Like, if you buy a set from, you know, the early 2000s right now, chances are the clips are going to be probably useless. Like, you're probably going to have to replace them. But the real problem I've had with clips that has really affected me negatively is on Super Battle Droids. Like, I had maybe like a handful of Super Battle Droids when I was younger, and I maybe have one right now that's actually like a full figure that I can connect. Like, the clip on the legs on most of mine have broken. The hand clips break pretty easily as well. It's really a sucky situation, and I feel like we haven't really gotten a Super Battle Droid in a set in quite some time now. So yeah, those Super Battle Droids can be quite a menace when it comes to those clips breaking. I mean, and normal Battle Droids aren't much better, but I feel like the Super Battle Droids in particular, maybe because I don't have nearly as many, are just a really big offender when it comes to clips breaking and really just giving me a difficult time. But I don't know, have you guys experienced this with Super battle droids or any particular clip piece? How badly has fragile Lego clips kind of giving you an annoying Lego experience? I'd love to know in the comment section below. Next question comes from Mall Bricks. He says, what do you do about cracked or peeling stickers? I mean, there's not much you can do. You really just have to replace them. Really, the only set I've experienced that with that I even care to deal with it with is my original Republic gunship sitting over there. Now, I bought that set new in box, and I opened it like 3 years ago, and the stickers are already pretty in pretty awful condition, which is annoying because, like I said, I mean, it's not like I had the set built for a long time. I bought the set brand new in box. I mean, of course, like, you know, if the stickers sit there for a while, maybe even if they're on the sticker sheet they came with, they can lose some of their adhesiveness. But I don't know. I feel like buying a set brand new and like the stickers already peeling off and really like only like 2 years of it just kind of sitting there, like that shouldn't be expected from a Lego set, right? I don't know, that's kind of annoying, but I'm probably just gonna have to buy a new sticker sheet. I'm not really sure what you can do in ways of actually repairing the stickers, which kind of sucks. So yeah. Final question comes from Jonathan Jones, and he says, a little out there, but I'm relatively new to the channel and was wondering how you started your channel. So my channel has really gone through many evolutions. If you look back and you check, I started this channel in like February of 2007. I was, I think, only like 13 years old at that point. And basically my plan when I first started was to do pivot animations, which are essentially like stick figure animations. So if you go like to my first videos, that's all they are. They're just stick figure animations, and they were based around wrestling. So like that's kind of what I wanted my channel to be known for: wrestling stick figure animations, like weekly episodes. Quickly found out that that just wasn't possible with the amount of time and effort you have to put into those animations. And then I think at that point I may have started getting into like monster truck videos. And my most popular video on my channel now is a monster truck video game video, which I don't really understand, but it happened. It's a thing. And then after that, the first time I really started going hardcore on YouTube was with my Lego stop motion wrestling series. And that was something very near and dear to my heart. I'm a lifelong huge wrestling fan. So being able to do that and kind of create my own stories through the medium of Lego, a toy and product I love so much, meant a lot to me. And I mean, that took forever to do, but I wouldn't say I was consistent with it, but I was, you know, decently consistent with it. And it just got to the point where, you know, life kind of got in the way and prevented me from being able to put those out as regularly as I would have liked. I think, and then, you know, after that, my channel kind of hit a stalemate. Like, I tried to revive the Lego wrestling thing for a while, which I think actually was relatively successful. Like, I got a couple videos in the tens of thousands of views, so that was pretty cool. But eventually it just kind of fizzled out, and really it wasn't until, I guess, the beginning of last year, maybe even like 2 years ago, actually, when I kind of decided to really start going in on Lego Star Wars YouTube. And I mean, that's what I've been doing ever since. And this is something I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I feel like this is my niche that I found on YouTube. The one thing that I'm dealing with enough in my personal life outside of YouTube that it really doesn't make sense for me not to be documenting it, because having that community aspect of it, being able to share my creations with people, makes the Lego building experience so much more enjoyable for me. So this is kind of where I've settled at, and you know, the channel's been, I'd say, relatively successful. I'm happy with where I am now, and I have every intention on growing this channel to its highest potential. So hopefully that gives a good breakdown of like my journey through YouTube. And you know, you go to so many different places before you kind of figure out your identity. Like, I know some people started at one place and are basically still doing that same thing, but it took a while for me to kind of figure out what I wanted to do on YouTube, and to make the decision that I wanted to do this somewhat full time. And it's been a great experience so far. So thanks to all of you for giving me that. And I'm going to try my hardest to make sure I give you all of me when it comes to these videos, when it comes to these builds, when it comes to the effort that I put into this channel. But that's going to finish up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking it out. Like I said, if you want to see one of your questions answered in this video, leave it in the comment section below. Make sure it is Lego Star Wars or Lego Star Wars related, and then check back next week to see if you made the cut. If you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.